God fills him with knowledge. God comes to him and uses him as an instrument so that here on earth we could have the knowledge of who we are and where we come from. Who is God? What is life? And what is death? But this man, this great personality, is not with us anymore. From 1936 to 1969, God spoke through him. This knowledge was written and is now available to everyone who is interested in knowing about it. It is a spiritual university for all humanity. This is the World Spiritual University of the Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. This is God's school. Here you will find the greatest and most valuable spiritual treasures in all the world. God is here, Alan. This is God's school. The great gardener came down to this great garden. He comes only once during the entire cycle. He comes and changes this old, sullied world into a new and clean one. He will take the dirty thorns and transform them into future flowers that will come down once more and be reborn in a pure and clean world. God tells us that at this university, that science has not invented bombs just to have them stored in warehouses. All these bombs will be used. They will explode, all of them. It's the end of our history. That's the way everything is going to begin, the great war of bombs. But actually, the war has already begun. Natural catastrophes will follow. Nature is also fed up with so much abuse. Thank you. 1,000 times thank you. Thanks to our marvelous Mother Nature that gives us so much. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for so much love. Thank you again to this planet that is so unique in all the galaxy for taking care of us. Thank you. 100,000 times thank you. And even though you are little now, and there are many who are little, everything will be all right. Everything will be okay, little man. We are leaving this planet. The same way we arrived, we will depart. And while the majority of us will be leaving this planet, a few will remain to help reconstruct that new world and that new dawn. Look, Alan, God now uses this woman to communicate with us. She is our dear sister, Dadi Gulzar. She's the instrument God chose. God loves her very much, little man. But he also loves you. That's why you're here. Look. This is God, Alan, using this corporeal instrument. What I'm telling you, Alan, is the truth. And even though many don't believe this, the entire world will soon know that God has arrived. He is here in the world. No organization in the world says this or can say this openly. It's time for the great revelation. Let's shout it out loud, Alan. Let the whole world know about it.
in the world. God is in the world.
He is giving instructions. He comes to transform us, and He comes to transform this old world. It's time to celebrate, little man. You tell your friends and I will tell their parents. Everybody is invited, everybody. That's what you and I have to do, little man. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. God is in the world. It is God who is behind all of this. He is here. Alan, God is here. This is Madhuban, little man, the forest of honey. And just like Ponciano told me that I would go to a faraway land to meet people like myself. Well, this place turned out to be the other side of the world, literally. Today, I am part of this great family. My mission? To do this film with you and to share the most valuable and greatest thing I have with you. This film is for you, little man. Look inside your heart, Alan. You too can be part of this great army of light. This garden and this new world are about to arrive. Look for it in your heart, Alan, and you will see that you will find it. Have faith in what I'm telling you. Have faith. We have always been together, and we will always be together. Okay? I love you very much, little man.
Me too, Daddy.
Thank you for being my son this life. You want to play?
Let's go.
Let's go.
And where does this knowledge come from, Dad?
This knowledge is very old. It appears every 5,000 years, just like the calendars and some ancient texts. It's cyclical, and this knowledge is here once again. It is the most beautiful and most profound knowledge that I personally have ever heard. In this knowledge, God teaches us to feel spiritual love for others and for our beautiful blue planet. A clean and honest and truthful love.
How nice.
In that heaven we all desire and are searching for, violence does not exist. And whoever practices violence at any level cannot enter that heaven. Corruption, greed, selfishness, lying, deceiving, these things do not exist in the vocabulary of heaven. Actually, those who practice violence do not even know heaven and will never know heaven. It is written that way, and it makes a lot of sense.
And why, Dad?
Everything is written in the tree of life. And it is this same God, Alan, who comes for all the Jews and for all the Muslims. One same God who comes for all the Christians, all the Buddhists, and all the Hindus. God comes to unite all of us. One God. I want to tell you that the greatest happiness I have ever experienced in my life has been with you and your precious childhood. So joyful and innocent. Your purity has been without a doubt the most beautiful lesson I have ever learned. Thank you. Thank you, Alan, for all these things you've made me feel.
Thank you.
I know that it isn't easy to hear or to see all these things that I have shown you, Maybe you have a lot of questions. Nobody wants to die. We all want to live and be here in the world. The thing is that we have always been here, over and over again. It's just a question of understanding it. Eternity. But now comes time for the light. It's time for truth and happiness to arrive. And to be able to reach that happiness, we first need to let go of the old world and all this suffering. We have been lost, but now we know the way.
And why, Dad?
It isn't easy to tell you the fact that we are leaving. But we are leaving, Alan. In each death we leave. But look at us. Here we are once again. And I'm telling you the same thing all over again. Eternity does exist. I promise you this. It hides in the feelings of our memories. The golden age is coming. With time we have descended, just as the law of entropy confirms it. From being in this purity and this beauty of the golden age, we have now descended this long, long ladder. Now we are here, in the ugliest of times, wars and all that. What we are living today, Alan, is an absolute decadence. Changing ourselves first, from being a bad person to being a good one. That is what we learn at this university. The secret lies in changing our values from negative to positive. This is what God has come to teach us. To leave all those vices and bad actions behind and return to that purity. Imagine the garden that awaits us. Once again, go to heaven.
Yes, Dad.
This new world is coming, Alan, and it is the children who are going to construct it. But we need all the children. You can help us build it. Your purity is your greatest strength. But we have to make our best efforts if we want to reach that place. This is what we learn at this great university. Going to heaven is not something you get for free. We come here to transform all our negativity and all our impurities with efforts. God shows us how to do it, here. The greatest realization I have had here is knowing that before coming down to the world, I was a pure and perfect being. We all were. It's our original state. We are beings of light, pure and perfect. It is here in the world where we have dirtied our faces, committing negative actions.
How ugly, Dad.
This is why the confluence age is so important. It is only now when God comes down. He comes only now to teach us about the possibility of returning to that once pure and perfect place. The thing is that nobody can come down to the new world without first learning how to be a good human being.
Wow!
Full of virtues and powers, spiritual powers. This is the law. We all believe in kindness. It's a universal virtue. We all strive for true and clean love. God is love. We all know this.
Yes.
And like a loving father, he comes to find his lost children. Those rebel children who think we know it all, without knowing that without him, we are nothing. He's here, Alan. That loving father that has been searching to find us. He adopts us and teaches us the correct way. That father that makes us perfect like himself once again. Do you see, Alan? Do you see the wonder that awaits us? He makes us gods like him. It is the inheritance that he comes to give us, the inheritance of heaven on earth. The world is starting once more. It's the creation all over again. Only like gods will we enter that earthly world. Only by returning to kindness will we enter that kindness. Only going back to love will we enter that love that we are yearning for. These are the spiritual secrets that we learn in this great school. God teaches us how to return to our original state, our state of perfection. The past becomes our future. This is if we reclaim our original values. And nothing or no one can destroy the truth that lives in a personal experience. Here we are. We are all spiritual beings. Just like you. Just like me. We are a great family, ancestors in time. It has nothing to do with a cult or a sect dressed in white. It's about a spiritual university. Knowledge of the heart, mind, and soul. We know in the very depth of our hearts that God has arrived into the world, that He is here with us and among us. We feel this in the most profound way. We come here to transform ourselves. We believe in kindness and in the internal cleanliness of our being. We believe in human unity and we believe in love. We are peace and we are searching for peace. We are light and we are searching for light. This is the living school of the human spirit, the shining truth. Now, listen to this. Today, she is the administrative head of the Brahman Kumaris. She has been meditating for over 80 years. At 96, she is ready to achieve her state of perfection. She is a firm friend and companion of God. Some say that she possesses the most stable mind on the planet, an authentic Raja Yogi. I give to you, Alan, one of the most beautiful and most valuable living treasure that all of humanity has today. From the majestic Mumbai, here in India, with you, Daddy Janki. Take her, little man, and let's witness. Let's make history, Alan.
I am a soul, the child of the Supreme Soul. There is one command in the Gita: connect your mind with my mind. How can you focus your mind on the being of God? Until you have focused full attention on the Supreme Soul, it would be wrong to consider yourself as one who has religious knowledge. It is said in the Gita that God loves the knowledgeable soul. So what knowledge should be within that would make that soul loved by God? I would not say I am a daughter of God, but a son of God. I am His heir, because I have connected my mind to His. This mind, which was under the sway of the sense organs, has acquired the power to keep the organs under my control. I am no longer the slave to the five senses. If we are to become divine, then any aspect that is even slightly negative would stop me from being attractive to God. I am always concerned about what God likes. It is said that only God knows His instructions and His destination. God Himself knows what supreme directions should be given if a person is to attain salvation. No one else knows this. You, God, who have shown us the way to liberation and salvation for all time, you alone know that way. God, you are the creator of our fortune. At each moment, I experience that I am blessed with fortune. When you belong to God like this, you experience absolute happiness. The Supreme Soul, the Father, is Himself my companion. He makes me His companion and includes me in His work of establishing the Golden Age. The Supreme Soul is acting through Brahma Baba, the maker of fortune, and Shiva Baba, who bestows all blessings. So before the destruction, with faith in your intellect, you'll become victorious. The children take a step of courage, and the Father gives 1,000 steps of help.
There is nothing greater in life than the love God has for us, His children. We should always give thanks. Always.